you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh faints for you, as in a dry and weary land. So I will bless you as long as I live, long as I live in your name. I will lift up my hands, so I will bless you as long as I live, long as I live in your name. I will lift up my hands, but the king shall rejoice in God. All who swear by him shall exult, for the mouths of liars will be stopped, as in... Well, hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Wednesday.
Really wet Wednesday.
Soggy, soppy
Yes,
Wednesday.
Very.
Ladies and gents, what a storm came through.
Gosh.
We have been through some serious storms in Florida. Actually, even the eye of a hurricane has gone directly over our home. Mm-hmm. That was weird.
Yeah, very strange. Everything was green. It was weird.
It got super still.
Yeah.
Like it just was like oddly calm.
Yeah.
And well, we can come back to that. But yeah, we've been through some serious storms. But last night we had some very odd weather in central Wisconsin. First of all, one of the things that does not normally happen is lots of lightning.
Yeah. No, lightning was very prevalent last night. There was tons of it.
Did you guys have lots of lightning where you're at? Because I want to talk about this. I got to share with you. We've got a video. None of this is like clickbait. We've got some serious problems with our house now. Mm-hmm. And we've already called the insurance company.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep that as, I don't know how, we'll have to share what we can share.
Sure.
But yeah, there was crazy lightning that does not normally happen here. But one cool thing, how many of you guys would consider yourselves into preparedness? Emergency preparedness, because watch this. This was before all heck came unbuckled.
Yes, we had already had high winds, but there was nothing that was here yet.
Yeah, this was pre that. So here, check it out. Here we go. All right, guys. So here's the thing. It is crazy storming. Gusts of wind right now are at 60 miles an hour.
Yeah,
50,
like
50,
yeah,
60.
50 to 60.
I don't have my glasses because we had to run outside. The lights are out. However, you may hear that distinctive whir of a milker. And that's because of this right here. I'm covering the brand name because they were disingenuous to us. But I'm making something a point. Having one of these all-in-one solar units, ladies and gents, it has come in incredibly handy for this.
That it has. Trust me, folks, I don't want to do this without electricity.
Whoops, sorry.
That's okay. I understand some of you do milk by hand. I have arthritis pretty bad, and there's no way I could milk out 3 gallons out of her and 3 gallons out of her. Especially this one, her teats are this big. It's not possible.
It is possible, and we would do it. But since we had this all-in-one solar ditty thing, we figured let's give it a shot, and it's been working. I couldn't believe it. C is very happy too because they're used to a certain way of being milked.
Oh, it's so dark.
It is dark in here. She's being very good. But what a blessing to have it, right? Dottie, you're next. I actually have pretty bad arthritis too, and we could do it. It's just
it would be a challenge.
It would be a
Definitely
challenge.
a challenge. Yeah.
But I can't believe it's running this milker It's super dark. Hopefully you can actually see something.
Yeah.
But everything's clicking right along.
Yep.
So, yeah. Okay. I don't know if you saw this, but did you see my lovely wind-blown hair in the actual barn? And Krista's too. Mm-hmm. Well, weren't you wearing a beanie thingy?
No, my bangs were flopping in the wind. I had my hair up in a ponytail.
Whew.
Yeah.
That was inside the barn, guys.
Yeah.
And that was before all heck became unshackled.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, that having that little solar generator was a godsend. You guys don't know. Unless you have cows, you don't know. It's really hard to milk a cow with tiny little teats because you basically just have to strip them. And that's 3 gallons.
A thimbleful at a time.
Pretty much.
A thimbleful. That's a lot of teat squeezing.
Oh my gosh.
teat
Thankfully she only
tugging.
has 3, but still, she only has 3/4 that work. But still, it's just.
She's got 3.
I was so happy. I probably would have been there an hour with both cows.
I would have cheered you on, and I would have been like, like when they do the wrestling matches where you tag team and one guy jumps in,
Yeah.
You slap me in and we'll milk the thimblefuls.
You know what I probably would have done? Instead of milking them out, I probably would have put the calves back with them.
Oh, wreck all that progress.
Exactly, because that would have been just
easier.
It would have been way easier, and just no, don't worry. They're gonna have plenty of time to milk those mamas out tonight.
So welcome everybody. Yeah, it's been crazy. Mm-hmm. Only 17 likes. Hit that like. Yep. Hit the subscribe. Hit the share, the bell, the whole 9. You guys know the deal. Yeah. So check this out. This is what's going on storm-wise right this moment. So if you can see, Culver's. Apparently, I'm supposed to be enticed by the Culver's advertising over there. Mm-mm. This is what's going on right now on, I guess it's weather.com.
Yeah. But that strip that's
look at that
right there that is covering the thumb of Michigan, that came through last night.
What's probably over Detroit is what hit us. Mm-hmm. Last night.
Well, part of it actually
like
probably
this part here,
further north, but
right in here.
Still, it was actually way worse than that showing. The winds, we were having 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
Pretty regular.
Sustained winds, I want to say, were 25 to 30 miles an hour.
Pretty regular.
It was crazy.
Yeah, so I'm seeing in the chat, well, first of all, hello. Why don't you say hi to a few folks since this is live?
Hello, a few folks. How's that? Does that work?
Pretty good.
Does that work?
Pretty good.
Hey, Danny Thrive, Moni, Chris and Nikki, John, Face the Sky.
Ooh, that's
you're,
fun.
You're new. Thank you for joining us. Judy, MJCOS, and Doug, and everybody there. Yep.
I love
Doug.
that. MJCOS one?
MJCOS1.
Must be from over the pond because notice the comment they said?
No.
Right there, the purple icon.
Nay.
Underneath.
Such thing as a bad
no
weather,
such thing,
just
or
the
probably.
wrong jacket.
We'll go ahead and.
Yes. So there is no such thing as bad weather, just the wrong clothing.
Aha,
yes.
They are from Scotland.
Yep.
I knew they had to be
Excellent.
from over the pond.
Excellent. We actually
greetings.
own property in Scotland.
Yeah, this is actually true. I am Lord Brad.
I'm Lady Christa.
We own property in Scotland.
1 square foot.
It was one of
Something
those
like that.
things. Yeah. Who knows if it's even legal?
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, I needed to buy a gift for Mom for Mother's Day, and I'm like, you know what? She is quite the princess, the queen around the house here. So I think she needs the title of Lady Christa.
Oh, my word.
So I actually tracked down one of those companies that you can buy 1 square foot of property in Scotland. So Christa is officially Lady Christa. And then I thought, well, Lord Brad it has quite the ring to it.
It does. Lord and Lady Brad and Christa.
Brad. So here's what
Do I need to start calling you Lord?
No, that'd be creepy.
No, that would be creepy. Yeah, no.
That would be creepy. So one of the things that happened was we did not realize it at the time. The storm hit us where the power went out around 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere in that.
Yep. Dinner
Power
was
goes
just
out.
about done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power goes out. And what was cool was everybody knew where everything was. We knew where all the candles were. We knew where all the flashlights were. We knew where the power generation stuff was. We knew where everything was that was going to be needed. And even Caleb and I and Grace, we went out and got some firewood from our scrap pile because we had already burned through our regular firewood pile. But we had the scrap wood, the stuff that's all gnarly and you don't like to stack it.
Yeah, it doesn't stack well.
Well, we went and got that before it started raining because I thought, well, you know what? If it gets cold, I'm going to go ahead and want to have a fire in the fire just because if power goes out, you're not going to have the blower.
Yeah. Right.
We went and got that. Everybody was, Johnny, on the spot. It was great.
Yep.
Power goes out. It stayed out till what?
9 o'clock.
Yeah, 3:39ish to
9 o'clock. Yep.
It was great.
Yep.
Everybody knew where everything was. The solar stuff. We were getting ready. Now, okay, this is how first world problem we have, right? The kids were playing board games, and it was great. And I'm sitting there playing guitar because power's out.
Right.
Well, I get it into my mind, you know what? We happen to have a pretty nice solar battery backup thingy here. We could just hook up our Starlink to our Wi-Fi router because it's completely not dependent on the grid in any way. So we could have internet if we just plug it into our solar router thingy, and it worked. And then I thought, I wonder if we could just watch some, British soccer. I think there's a new Manchester United game that I haven't seen.
But we watched Man City.
Well, we were going to.
Right.
And then the power came back on.
Just as soon as you plugged it in and turned it on, the power came back on. It was really hysterical.
Yeah. So it was good to know that we were prepared in some ways, but there was a big way that we learned really quick. We were not prepared, and we will get prepared ASAP. And I actually appreciate these moments that are not like massive 2-week, 3-week events where it can show you, holy smokes, we got a problem here and we need to fix it before something bad were to happen. So question for you guys before we go any further, how many of you in the last little bit have noticed there's some serious things I should probably get on my to-do list for preparedness? What would be one, without giving up what we're going to talk about, what would be something that you think is probably an overall thing?
More chocolate. Definitely more chocolate.
Like a storeroom full of
Reese's, Hershey bars.
Well,
yes.
Rishi bars? Do they make? I thought it was like little footballs and whatever.
Well, yes. No, I said Hershey bars.
I thought you said Reese's bars.
No, Reese's and Hershey bars. Reese's bars would be fine too.
I say, Huh. Well, what do you know? I think we ought to freeze dry some.
No, it doesn't work. We've tried it. Remember?
I think, okay. If you guys know anything about freeze dryers, we don't own one, but we have one of our friends' freeze dryers here because they can't use it currently, and they're being gracious and letting us use it. I think that if you got those little Reese's cups, the little ones, and put them in silicone molds, I'll bet it would work fine.
I don't think so.
Because it melts.
Yeah. Well, there is a candy setting, and we didn't have the candy setting because we had not done the software update on it yet. So we've done the software update, and now there's a candy setting. So who knows? I mean, you obviously they're freeze drying Milky Way candy bars, and so who knows? It's just
okay. The Matrix is real. In the chat section, you may have jumped the gun for us, my friend. Robert Bates is saying a little bit of an issue there that he's thinking probably might need to be addressed. Says,
Yep. Large tarps and more ropes for securing them down for storm damage.
I do not think you can ever have too many tarps.
No, of course not. I think we've got, I don't know,
20
20 of them laying around.
Not bad.
Nice.
So what we found before we tell you the issues we had that we really need to address, we definitely have roof damage,
Yep.
water damage,
Yep.
water leaking by the chimney.
Yep. Water
we-
leaking by the window.
Yes.
Yeah.
We also had a gutter blow off. We
Well,
also,
that we've seen only one so far.
well, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's
It's
bye-bye.
completely disappeared. We have no idea where it went.
We're probably going to find it in,
Probably in the woods. somewhere.
2025.
Yeah, right.
We lost 2 trees, big trees.
Yep.
So the nice thing about that is we're going to cut it up. We'll use it for firewood. But yeah, 2 big trees. Fortunately for us, where our house is situated, there's no big trees near it where it couldn't like fall on it unless there was a tornado
Right.
that threw it into.
Right. And the wind was coming from the east, so the trees. I mean, even if the trees did fall toward the house, they would never reach the house. They're not. It's too far. It's what 150 feet from the tree line.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. Yeah, easy. Yeah. So trees are not a problem here unless, of course, they go flying. So.
Like Wizard of Oz style.
Yeah. Right.
Did any of you guys in the live chat have any issues in your neck of the woods? I'm seeing in the live chat, and then we're going to tell you what our honest issue was. Because Moni says Ryan Hall, because she loves Ryan Hall,
I do
y'all.
like Ryan Hall, y'all.
That
yeah.
channel is great. Ryan Hall calls the dangly bits are the dangerous bits.
Oh, funny. I have not heard him say that.
I can imagine.
But here, Face the Sky is saying something. She's like, please hear me. She, he, I'm assuming it's a she because of the picture.
Don't
Looks like
presume.
I'm sorry.
I'm being
This
a dork.
subscriber, this person who's watching.
This
sorry.
humanoid.
This human.
This biped.
Yeah.
We're assuming that they have 2. So, yeah.
If you are getting winds now, they're supposed to get really bad beginning spring through summer. Batten down everything with strength of 150 to 250 miles an hour.
God dang, what?
Huh?
What? 200 miles an hour?
That's worse than a hurricane. That doesn't make sense.
That's beyond F5, I think.
Oh, easy.
Now, okay, to be fair,
yeah.
don't know that just because we lived in Florida for a long time, so that
Right.
sounds like excessive.
It does sound, but who knows?
Could be right.
Right.
200-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, forget any mobile home existing.
Sure. No. I mean, the
Gone.
barn would be gone. The sheds would be gone. Yeah. I can't even imagine, honestly.
So,
Before we move on really
Yes,
quick,
ma'am.
Rick is asking, does the freeze dryer have an internet connection? It does not. It's the software download that we did.
I thought we were talking about weather.
No, I know, but I wanted to get to his question before we move too far away. The freeze dryer, you can download it and put the software on a thumb drive and then plug it into the side of the freeze dryer. So there we go. We can go back to the weather now. And back to the weather there, Bill.
Okay, so here we go. This is what's going on right now, according to weather.com.
Right.
Look at that swirly.
Don't do that.
Okay, but here's what we discovered. Last night, the moment that the power goes out and everybody's rushing around and we get everything figured out, sorted out, we know where everything is, all of a sudden, everyone needs to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And you know what?
What?
We know if it's yellow, let it mellow. It's brown,
Flush
right,
it down.
right.
Right.
It wasn't all yellow that everybody needed to do.
No, it's like, what in the
All of
world
a sudden,
just happened?
everyone's like, I'm
Hopefully it wasn't the dinner that I made.
gonna need to go. I don't think this is gonna last for days.
Right.
And so,
Oh my gosh.
what we realized very quickly was, yeah, we could go out and fire up our generator that could power the house and do the transfer switch thing. we could, but I didn't really want to go out in the weather to go out to the barn
Right.
to do all this, hook
Right.
everything up and blah, blah, blah. And it just made me realize rain catchment systems are so much more valuable than just for watering your garden, which we've done. They're so much more valuable than even just drinking water. How about getting foul, nasty filth out of the house?
Yes, definitely.
Now, Christa did figure out a quick workaround. It was me.
Well, you said go stick the bucket underneath a drip edge. So I was going to do that.
So that we could pour the water into the
tank.
toilet and flush it.
Right. So instead, I was like, I'm not going to, this will take way too long. And I couldn't find an easy drip edge. So I went out to the gutter and I took the gutter piece off. That was the downspout.
It just hangs there anyway.
It just hangs there anyway. So I stuck the bucket and I had a big 3.5 gallon pot. And I stuck it underneath there and filled those pots up really fast and brought it inside.
So, yes. Here is a video we did. What year is that? Jeez, oh, Pete. It has to be a while ago. Long time ago. 8 years ago. This is the first whole house rain catchment system that I put together. Now, I wanted to show you this. You guys can write this down if you want, but see where it says planning a rain catchment system right there. That's a Big Family Homestead video. I'm going to show you what we did on the top here, but we absolutely need to get one of these ASAP. We're going to have to figure out a few new issues that we're going to talk to you about, but water. It's not just for drinking.
No. You got to cook with it. You got to clean with it. You got to flush with it.
Keep the house.
You got to shower with it.
So if you take a look, what we got right here, guys, let me see. I can use the mouse over there. The blue that's just a regular old 55 gallon plastic barrel. Okay. And I'm going to show you that's a giant filter. That is a sand, pebble, charcoal, activated charcoal filter. And then down here at the bottom, that's just basically a bracing bracket that I put on top of this 275 gallon tank tote that you can get these things cheap. You can buy them new or you can buy them for $40 pretty much all day long on Craigslist. Just make sure of what's actually been in them so that you don't, poison yourself. Clean it out pretty good.
Yeah.
And this, you see this little straight line here that's not so straight. It's going at a wrong angle. That was kind of like a manifold that I fed another tank that was over here. And then there was another one further over that way. So all in all, we had, it was close to 800 gallons of, filtered water. Now, before I go to this next image, I want to show you what we did. You see the green thing? That's just a flexible downspout that was 100% just for overflow. So we basically took and cut a hole right here in this gutter. And yeah, the people that bought the house, sorry about that. But
no, we fixed it.
Well, they knew about it too.
Yeah, they knew about it, and they asked us to remove the system.
And we did.
And we did, and we fixed the gutter, so it wasn't a big deal.
So we got a hole in the downspout or the gutter. It goes into that filter. Then the filter does not go as quickly as the overflow. So that's why we have the overflow. And then that ran out way, way, way out into the yard.
Yep.
And so here's what looks like on the inside of that filter there. You see, this is a separate video if you ever want to plan one of these things. So you got clean pea gravel.
Oh, yeah, and that's a pain to clean, too.
The sand is worse.
Oh, yeah, I know it is. Oof.
The sand is worse. So you got about 8 inches, 10 inches of pea gravel. Then you've got 8 inches, 10 inches of basically play sand that you get super, super clean. Then another layer of activated charcoal. Then another layer of pea gravel. Now, that said, I'm going to go back to this and then we're just going to chat about it. Have you guys ever made one of these things, by the way? Any of y'all? So here's what that looks like up on top. then that goes into these tanks. Now, the reason why they're painted black is
Algae. Gotta prevent the algae growth.
And it doesn't do a 100% perfect job.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. I'm wondering if we put a tarp over it, if that would keep it better.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sure there's ways of doing it now. I mean, this was 8 years ago we did this. So.
Yeah. So on that, we did not do a great job on the algae.
No.
We had to clean it out a lot. Even though we painted it black, I painted it several times. And something else that we found was don't paint it, because what happens the second you get a first freeze, it cracks.
And the paint peels
off.
It
just falls right off.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we had this in a very shady, I mean, you see a little bit of sun there, but most of the bins were covered with shade, but they still collected algae, or still grew algae.
And then we learned from our mistake, and we figured, well, okay, let's use this in combination with the black covering. But then we figured, okay, we better go with the bleach.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know, there's formulas for X amount of water per X amount of tiny little bits of bleach for preparedness water. Now, this is not something you can just go chug-a-lug and drink, so don't hear that. That's not what we're talking about.
No.
But there are, I forget exactly what it is, because we haven't had a rain catchment system in 8 years. But I think there's it's a certain amount of teaspoons per gallon.
I think isn't it 1 teaspoon per gallon?
You guys do your math on that.
Yeah, do the math. I don't remember.
You do your math on that. But I don't know how in the world that we could make this happen in Wisconsin with Wisconsin winters unless we completely do something different or heat it. But if you heat it, guess what? It ain't going to matter if you have no power.
If the power's out, the heater is not working. So I think the only way we'll be able to do this is if we put it in the garage. Honestly.
Do you guys have any ideas? Because we tried a gazillion things to keep our animal waterers when we lived in Ohio from freezing.
That was difficult.
And it didn't work there.
Nope. No, they say, oh, well, you can put bottles of salt water in there.
Nope.
No, that doesn't work. You can put it, put a bucket into a couple of tires and then spray the great stuff in there, and that'll keep it from freezing. That doesn't work.
Nope.
There's so many different things. The only thing that has worked
is
using electric heaters.
And if you get one that goes bad, you're shocking your animals. Because that's happened. Or
yourself.
Or, hey, do tell.
Yeah.
We had one go bad.
We had one... I was moving it around a board so that it wouldn't get, so it wouldn't come out of the little bucket that it was in. Not little bucket, it was a bigger bucket. And I moved it while it was still plugged in, and it came in contact with my hand, and it shocked me, created sparks. It was as though a firecracker went off in my hand. It burned my hand really bad, shocked me. And it's actually, you can kind of still see it a little bit, but it's healed now. So it was quite scary, those little heaters. So we don't buy those kind of heaters anymore. We buy the bucket that has the heater inside of it. So yeah.
I have seen at the industrial, like dairy farming places, and we looked into those blue ones. I don't even know what they're called. But
livestock waterers, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, it keeps your water from freezing, but it literally it goes up underneath the ground, and it's either propane or heat. And I don't know of a different way to do it. I don't think there's an organic way. I don't think you could use a solar lens or anything. If you actually got any kind of degree of like the kid with the magnifying glass with the ants, you'd burn your cows to bits.
Oh my goodness.
If you made a big one.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's one way we can keep the algae from growing is if we put it in the garage. It was not exposed to daylight at all. And we wouldn't have to worry about heating it because the garage is heated in the wintertime.
As long as you heat the house.
Yeah, as long as you're heating the house, it's going to prevent freezing. So I don't know, guys.
Well, going back real quick. When these storms go through and it's not a major event, it really does give you pause to think, okay, what if I could not do anything with electricity for a week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would I be able to flush my toilets? That's one everybody forgets.
Nope. Well, and we'd have to be super careful because while we have a septic tank, all of our waste goes into
Our
a
juices.
tank, like a bulk tank in the ground, and then all of the liquids get pumped up to
It's a pump station,
mound system.
like a lift station.
Right. So we would have to greatly limit the water we put in there because if there's no power for a week, you're not taking 5-minute, 10-minute showers.
No,
you're taking spit baths and spit bath is gross. But yeah, and we're flushing very little and only poo, and yeah, there's very limited things you would be able to do on a week without power.
Yeah, well, yes. And our daughter, Claire, who she knows our situation and she knows we try to be preparedness-minded people. She goes, well, Dad, it's time to put in an outhouse.
Yeah.
And I thought, why didn't I actually think of that?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you may only ever use it for decorative thing, but if you made it actual usable.
Yep. If you made it usable, then we wouldn't have to worry about water in the house, bringing buckets of water upstairs just so that we could flush our poo. Come on.
Well, and I have a great deal of respect for how the Amish community has figured all this out a long time ago and still doesn't need it, the electricity that is.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I mean, it is funny, though, because, boy, oh boy, we know a lot of Amish folks who they have their workarounds, just like everybody else. Oh, they don't watch TV unless they're standing at somebody else's house. They love football just as much as most people, then you don't know it.
Yeah.
But that's, as long as you're at somebody else's house, it's not sinful,
okay.
so
Right.
that's fine.
Right.
Just don't do it at your house. But that's a side note, and I'm just ribbing a little bit.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, I think that it would be a wise thing to do to take a look at the habits of people that don't rely on this.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we need to really probably ask one of the Amish folks that we know around here and see if we can just pick their brain a little bit and say, hey, can we just come check out your house and see what you do for these certain situations. So
you may be seeing a video in the near future of an outhouse construction.
Digging a hole. Claire actually even offered to dig the hole. She said, I'll come help dig the hole.
We would need to buy like an auger, or not buy, rent.
Sure.
An
we
auger.
rent one of those big wide ones. Yeah.
Yeah, if you got a good
down
12-inch auger, you could go down a ways and it would be fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, ladies and gents, so yeah, how would you deal with your leavings?
Gross.
How would you deal with...
That's something we always love talking about on live stream.
She didn't know we were going to cover this
I had
topic.
no idea we were going to talk about this. I thought we were going to talk about the damage that happened to the house.
Which is true.
Yeah.
All of it is true.
All of it is true.
So, any questions before we say sayonara and start designing an outhouse, I guess?
Yeah.
Because we did call the insurance company. They're dealing with all that.
Yep. They've already put in a claim for it, and they're going to send somebody out and come and figure out what needs to be done. So.
DK Homestead is asking, have you thought about insulating the tank? We have insulated all kinds of different things, and the only way up here that things stay unfrozen is electric heat or propane heat or some kind of actual heat.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, like the freeze line is ridiculous. It's like 4 or 5 feet deep.
Oh yes, yeah. We had to bury our water line to the barn 6 feet deep. So that because our frost line, our
That's
frost
what it
line,
is. Yeah.
is 4 to 6 or 4 to 5 feet deep. So we have to be super careful. But Robert's asking, what about a pond aerator?
We've tried different things that keep the water moving, and that works if you are not in a very cold environment. If you're like hovering around 20 degrees, 15 degrees, you're fine.
That would work, yeah.
You're fine. But even there's a fishing community that's north of us called Rib Lake, and they have tournaments all the time. They do the ice fishing, and you'll go out there, and there's just a gazillion people out on the ice, and they have like the big aerator, and that only will keep a very small area of the lake unfrozen for thick ice.
Yeah, the lake itself gets to be what I think a foot thick on a normal winter. No, a normal winter. This winter it didn't get past like 5 or 6 inches, but which is still a lot and still weird. But it does do a good job of keeping that top layer thawed, but it doesn't really do it. I don't know if it would work well on a small scale.
Well, yeah. Okay, so we have a question from Bryce in the live chat. I have a generator, but what would you suggest for solar energy, like an all-in-one box? Like we do those reviews from time to time. For a CPAP machine, which is one of the biggest reasons why I even do those videos, is honestly the CPAP machine, because you can live without electricity in terms of lighting. You really can.
Yeah.
You can live without a lot of stuff, but a CPAP machine, that's important. Truthfully, the biggest unit you can afford with lithium-ion batteries, with a way to charge it that is actually solar and not just plug into the wall. A lot of these all-in-one companies, they will tell you, oh, it's a solar all-in-one thing. And they'll show you all the pictures online of their website of like, look at this great all-in-one unit. The problem is almost all of them make you buy the solar panels separately if you can even get them.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem. They kind of hook you in to get you to buy the big unit, which is like $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 plus, which they're great. However, then what are you going to do if power doesn't come on right away?
Right. Yeah. How are you going to recharge it if you don't have those solar panels?
I'm trying to think of the ones that we actually like. Because we've done videos on several.
That one we used last night was great.
Do you remember the name of that one? It was not. It was.
I think it started with an O, but I can't remember.
It was a weird name.
Yeah.
I'll try to find out and check back on the channel. We'll do another one.
Yeah. But it ran the milker.
A vacuum
pump. For 15 minutes, 10 minutes. I think it was about 10, between 10 and 15 minutes. And the battery didn't even move off of full. It stayed full.
And this was not a bigger solar all-in-one. This one was probably, I don't know. It was probably
25
pounds,
16 inches.
20
Yeah,
pounds.
probably 25 pounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've plugged in that vacuum pump and it will run 1,000 watts.
Yeah.
And so this one did a fantastic job running the milker at the right pressure, the right PSI. It was fantastic. So I don't think it was the oops one. I always say oops. I don't know how it's pronounced. Chris and Nikki. I don't think that's that one. It's a different one.
Opez?
Yeah,
no, it could be because that's the one.
Oops.
Yeah, I always, and you know what? When we first, they asked us to do a video for the Opez.
Yeah.
I had to ask them, how do you pronounce your name? Because it kind of looks like oops.
You could always say, oops, the power's out.
Well, and I just thought, what a terrible name to name your solar emergency preparedness item. You don't want to be like, whoops.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Brad's done several reviews. If you just go back and look at, just search the channel for those, we've probably done, I don't know, 4 different companies. I can't remember.
Hilarious.
What?
No, I'm sorry. I got caught by the person in Scotland said, I normally don't get distracted by comments like that.
Uh-huh.
But we'll come back to the solar thing. But this bears talking about.
Sure.
The person in Scotland said, hey, because they found out that we own 2 square feet, one for her and one for me in Scotland. And says, I found your square foot of land over here. The height of your lawn is a disgrace.
That's great. That's great.
How about I send you a weed whacker and $20 and you take care of it for us?
No. That's hysterical.
That's funny.
That is really funny. No, they're also suggesting this face the sky. It's suggesting you need to shut off your electricity and spend one weekend figuring out how you and your family will survive.
I would say do it. I wouldn't be like, it's a week or nothing.
Right. No, weekend. They said weekend.
And I agree with that. I really do.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that, like, if you get to a point where you can't run important medical things like keeping medicines refrigerated that need to be refrigerated, I would say that's when you stop the experiment and figure out how to fix it.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to, yes, I would say an afternoon, or in a whole day. Shut it off for a whole day and say, okay, here, we need to find the holes in our system. And that was what we were thinking about and talking about yesterday. Is like, okay, we've spent a better part of our, the last 10 years figuring this stuff out, and we still have holes.
Yes.
I'm
seeing a suggestion when it comes to these all-in-one solar things. We've built our own systems. Mm-hmm. We've started out small. Of course, we did the Harbor Freight thing, and those are all junk. And then we worked our way up until we built, it was 10 deep cycle batteries is what we had in Ohio. And they were all ganged together and did the whole thing, all of it. And even then, we were still learning. We were still killing batteries until we figured out one tiny little thing called a blocking diode.
Oh, yes. I remember.
If you don't know what a blocking diode is, you need to look up what a blocking diode is, because you will save hundreds of dollars in batteries. Because what happens is, as the sun is changed into electricity by the PV panels, goes into your batteries, at night, it kind of works the other way around if you don't have what's called a blocking diode, which only allows the electricity to go through one direction and not back out. Mm-hmm. It's only like a couple bucks, like $2 or $3.
It was so inexpensive. It was ridiculous.
We killed hundreds of dollars in no, not we. I killed hundreds of dollars in batteries.
Well, yeah, you were the one building those things. Still have no full understanding of it. Funny. Yeah, there is no better way. Face the Sky is saying there's no better way than to do a total shut off and go buy now what you need. You won't know, and your family will learn to cope through their spoiled rottenness.
Ain't that the fact, Jack?
That is so true. That is so true. My goodness.
Well, ladies and gents, coming up on Friday, we have a special video for you. Normally when we do our like newsy kind of things, a lot of it is farming and a lot of it is ag and duh, of course, both. This is what we do. Right. But we just found a ton of silly stories. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to want to see it. It's going to be at 3:00 or 4:00 on Friday.
I really don't remember.
It's either 3 or 4 on Friday, and you're not going to want to miss out. Be ready to bring your puns.
Yes. Oh, yes.
There are bears who ride swans. Mm-hmm. That's actually not a joke.
No, not a joke.
And black bears, because black bears
are best.
And they ride swans.
Mm-hmm.
There is stinky fruit so stinky that it actually shut down a national park.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And glow in the dark something that's glow in the dark.
Dandelions, I think.
Something like that.
Plants.
Yeah.
We have an interesting and crazy discussion for you Friday.
Yeah.
We're going to go out now so that we can do more work.
And we can go make dinner.
And figure out what's going on with our
roof.
Yeah.
That's leaking.
You guys have an awesome
and blessed day.
All right. See ya. Oh, yeah. Here's some new music. I hope you like this. This is Psalm 88. Bye. Salvation, I cry out day and night before you. Let my prayer come before you. Incline your ear to hear my cry. For my soul is full of troubles, and my life draws near to Sheol. I am counted among those who go down to the pit. I am a man who has no strength. Like one set loose among the dead, like the slain that lie in the grave. Like those whom you remember no more, for they are cut off from your hand. Oh Lord God of my salvation, I cry out day and night before you. Let my prayer come before you. Incline your ear to hear my cry. You have put me in the depths of the pit, in the regions dark and deep. Your wrath lies heavy upon me, and you overwhelm me with all your waves. Like one set loose among the dead, like the slain they lie in the grave. Like those whom you remember no more, for they are cut off from your hand. But oh Lord, cry to you. In the morning my prayer comes before you. But oh Lord, cry to you. In the morning my prayer comes before you. Oh Lord God of my salvation, I cry out day and night before you. Let my prayer come before you. Incline your ear to hear my cry. Oh Lord God of my salvation, I cry out day and night before you. Let my prayer come before you. Incline your ear to hear my cry.
my prayer come before you. Incline your ear to hear my cry. For my soul is full of troubles, and my life draws near to Sheol. I am counted among those who go down to the pit. I am a man who has no strength. Like one set loose among the dead, like the slain that lie in the grave, like those whom you remember no more, for they are cut off from your hand. O Lord God of my salvation, I cry out day and night before you. Let my prayer come before you. Incline your ear to hear my cry. You have put me in the depths of the pit, in the regions dark and deep. Your wrath lies heavy upon me, and you overwhelm